Your kind is surprisingly resilient, Krell shouted over the noise, a hint of admiration creeping into his tone. Just like yours, Maya replied, firing her blaster at an advancing Zarnox warrior. Together, they pushed back against the enemy, their movements becoming a fluid dance of strength and strategy. But just as victory seemed within reach, a larger Zarnox commander stepped into view, a terrifying presence on the battlefield. Fall back, Krell shouted. We cannot fight him head-on. Mia's heart sank, but she refused to back down. No, we can't let him escape. We have to take him down together. Krell hesitated, the weight of leadership pressing down on him. If we fail, we won't. Mia interrupted. Trust me. With a fierce nod, Krell agreed. They rallied the troops, directing their fire toward the commander. As they launched their attack, Mia could feel the surge of energy coursing through their ranks. Now, she shouted, firing her weapon with precision. Krell charged forward, drawing the commander's attention. In that moment, it felt as though time slowed. Maya steadied her aim, focusing on the commander's vulnerable flank. Together, she yelled, unleashing a shot that struck true. The Zarnox commander staggered back, shock and rage flashing across his face. With a final combined effort, the humans and Centauri surged forward, overwhelming him with their strength and determination. As the dust settled, the Zarnox retreated, their forces in disarray. Cheers erupted around the battlefield, a triumphant roar that echoed through the night. In the aftermath, Maya turned to Krell, breathless and exhilarated. We did it. We truly fought as one. Krell met her gaze, a flicker of respect shining in his eyes. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps we are stronger together. With each passing day, Maya felt the bond between their peoples growing deeper. They had faced doubt and fear, but they emerged victorious, proving that unity could conquer even the most formidable foes. Yet, as they celebrated their victory, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that greater challenges lay ahead. The Zarnox had been pushed back, but they would return, and when they did, she would need Krell and the Centauri by her side more than ever. As the stars twinkled above them, Maya looked around at her crew and their newfound allies, a sense of hope blossoming within her. Together, they would face whatever came next, their shared destiny forever intertwined in the tapestry of the galaxy. Shadows of doubt. After their hard-fought victory against the Zarnox, the mood in the city was one of cautious optimism. Humans and Centauri celebrated together, sharing stories of bravery and camaraderie. Maya felt a sense of unity growing among the allies. But beneath the surface of their success, shadows of doubt lingered, especially for Krell, who still grappled with his beliefs about humanity. Mia gathered her crew in the command center to discuss their next steps. The room buzzed with excitement, but Mia noticed Krell standing apart from the group, his arms crossed and his expression troubled. Today we celebrate, she announced, raising her voice to address everyone. We have shown the Zarnox that we will not back down, but we must remain vigilant. They will come again, and we must be ready. The crew cheered, but Krell's silence spoke volumes. As Mia scanned the room, she caught Gorek's eye, and he nodded slightly, indicating he sensed the tension too. After the meeting, Mia approached Krell. What's bothering you? She asked gently. We've won. We should be celebrating. Krell looked at her, his expression a mixture of pride and doubt. Victory is fleeting, Captain. You fought well today, but I still do not trust your kind. You could turn on us when it suits you. Mia felt a pang in her heart. I understand your hesitation, but we fought side by side. We've lost people together. Trust is built through shared experiences. Then why do I still feel like an outsider? Krell replied, his voice low. You celebrate your victory, but many of my brothers and sisters still lie in the dirt. Mia felt a wave of guilt wash over her. We honor their sacrifice, Krell. They fought bravely, and we will continue to fight in their name. But we need each other to survive. Krell remained silent, his gaze distant. Perhaps time will change my mind. With that, he turned away, leaving Maya feeling more determined than ever to bridge the gap between their peoples. She knew that actions spoke louder than words, and she needed to show Krell and all the Centauri that they could trust the humans. In the following days, Mia devised a plan to strengthen their alliance. She proposed a joint training mission to the outskirts of the city, where they could simulate different battle scenarios, combining their strengths. "We'll practice together," she explained to her crew, and reinforced the bond between our two peoples. The team set out to the training ground, a grassy expanse surrounded by hills. As they prepared, Mia noticed the Centauri warriors eyeing the humans with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. The distance between them seemed to echo Krell's doubts. Maya stepped forward, addressing both groups. "Today, we will train as one. We need to understand each other's tactics and strengths. Together, we can create an unstoppable force." Gorak stepped up beside her. "We will learn from each other. We must show that our unity is our greatest strength." The exercises began, and at first, the training was clumsy. Humans struggled to adapt to the Centauri fighting style, while the Centauri had difficulty with the precision and strategy the humans employed. But as the hours passed, they began to find a rhythm. Mia observed Krell as he sparred with Marco, their movements becoming more synchronized. At that moment, a small glimmer of hope sparked in her heart. If they could just see the potential for unity, perhaps they could truly become allies. After the training session, they gathered around a fire, exhausted but exhilarated. As they shared a meal, Mia could see the walls starting to crumble. Laughter echoed across the group, and even Krell seemed to be enjoying himself, his scowl softening as he listened to a story from one of the humans. But just as things seemed to be improving, a shadow fell over the group. A Zarnak scout had infiltrated their territory, and alarms rang throughout the area, piercing the night. "Prepare for an attack," Mia shouted, her heart racing. "We must not let them catch us off guard." The warriors sprang into action, gathering their weapons and rushing to their posts. Mia felt adrenaline coursing through her veins as she organized the defenses. The fear of losing everything they had worked for filled her mind. As the Zarnoks descended upon them, Mia could see the sheer numbers of their enemy. "Stay strong. Fight for each other," she yelled, determination fueling her voice. The battle erupted around them, blaster fire lighting up the night sky. Humans and Centauri fought side by side, their newfound unity shining through the chaos. Maya and Krell found themselves back to back, taking on wave after wave of Zarnok's attackers. "Scouts report a Zarnok's fleet approaching," Gorak replied, his eyes filled with concern. "They're coming for us now. Prepare the defenses," Mia ordered, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "We need to fortify our positions and prepare for battle." The crew quickly moved into action, setting up barricades and arming themselves for the fight ahead. Mia could feel the tension rising as they prepared for what could be a decisive battle. As the first Zarnok ships descended upon the city, Mia felt a surge of determination. "Remember, we fight as one. Protect each other and focus on our strategy." The Zarnoks landed in force, their massive forms emerging from the ships with a fierce intensity. The sound of blaster fire filled the air as both humans and Centauri opened fire, working in sync to repel the invaders. Maya fought fiercely alongside Gorak, their movements becoming more fluid as they covered each other. She could see Krell in the distance, rallying a group of Centauri warriors, his battle cry echoing through the chaos. "This is our home," Krell shouted. "We will not let them take it." With renewed vigor, the Centauri surged forward, and the humans followed suit. Maya felt a rush of adrenaline as they pushed against the Zarnok's forces, driving them back with a combination of strategy and brute force. But as the battle raged on, a sudden explosion rocked the area, sending debris flying. Maya stumbled, regaining her footing just in time to see a group of Zarnok's warriors breaking through their lines. "Regroup," Mia shouted, fear gripping her heart. We need to fall back to the barricades. Gorak fought alongside her, but they were quickly surrounded. Just as Mia thought all hope was lost, Krell charged forward, leading a group of Centauri warriors in a fierce counterattack. "Stay strong," Krell bellowed, his weapon swinging with precision. "We fight together." With Krell at the front, the tide began to turn. The Centauri rallied, their pride in their home igniting their fury. Maya felt a rush of hope as they fought side by side, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. After what felt like an eternity, the Zarnox forces began to retreat, their morale shattered by the unity of humans and Centauri. The battlefield was filled with the sounds of victory, and Maya felt a weight lift from her shoulders. As they regrouped, she turned to Krell, her heart pounding with gratitude. "You fought bravely. Thank you for leading the charge." Krell nodded, his expression softening for the first time. "You have proven yourself, humans. Perhaps I underestimated you after all." With the battle won, Maya realized they had taken a significant step forward in their alliance. The Zarnox had been pushed back, but the true victory lay in the trust that had begun to flourish among them. As the sun rose over the city, Maya looked at her crew and the Centauri warriors, proud of what they had accomplished together. The journey ahead would not be easy, but with their newfound bond, they were ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Together, they would prove that humans were indeed a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. "You said, a fragile alliance." The victory over the Zarnox brought a sense of relief to the city, but the scars of battle remained fresh in the minds of both humans and Centauri. As the sun rose over the horizon, illuminating the remnants of their hard-fought battle, Mia and her crew began to assess the damage and plan their next steps. Maya stood with Gorak and other Centauri warriors in the command center, poring over the damage reports. "We need to reinforce our defenses," she stated, looking at the crumbling structures on the view screen. "We can't afford another surprise attack." Gorak nodded, his expression serious. "The Zarnox will not give up so easily. They will regroup and return stronger." As they discussed strategies, Krell entered the room, his demeanor still filled with skepticism. "You humans think you can help us prepare," he sneered. "Your victory was a fluke. You will not last in the next battle." Mia felt frustration bubbling within her. "We have proven ourselves, Krell. You saw what we accomplished together. We need to build on that trust, not tear it down." Krell crossed his arms, glaring at her. "Trust is earned through strength. Your kind is weak, and I will not rely on weakness." Gorak stepped in, his voice firm. "Krell, enough. We cannot afford to fight amongst ourselves. The Zarnox are still out there, and they will take advantage of any division within our ranks." Krell scowled but remained silent, the tension palpable. Mia took a deep breath, determined to keep the focus on their shared goal. "Let's put aside our differences and work together. We can prepare for the next attack, and we need everyone's skills to succeed." The days that followed were filled with intense preparation. Humans and Centauri worked tirelessly, fortifying defenses and training together for the battles ahead. Maya was pleased to see more Centauri warriors joining their efforts, but Krell remained distant, often skeptical of their methods. As they trained, Maya noticed that Centauri warriors beginning to adapt to human tactics, blending their brute strength with strategic planning. Gorak became a strong ally, often leading joint exercises and helping to build camaraderie among the troops. One afternoon, while overseeing a training session, Mia noticed Krell standing off to the side, watching with a scowl on his face. After a particularly successful drill, she approached him, determined to break through his stubbornness. "Krell, you're missing out on what we can achieve together. Look at how far we've come." Krell turned to her, his expression hard. "What you call progress, I see as foolishness. You are still not one of us. You will falter when it matters most." Mia felt the weight of his words but refused to back down. "If you truly believe that, then help us prove you wrong. Be part of this alliance, not an obstacle." Krell paused, seemingly considering her words. I will fight beside you, but do not expect me to trust you. You have a long way to go. As time passed, their joint training sessions continued to improve, and the atmosphere began to shift. The humans' resilience and the Centauri's raw strength combined to create a formidable fighting force. But beneath the surface, Mia sensed that their alliance was still fragile, held together by a thin thread of respect. One night, as they gathered for a meeting to discuss their strategy, an urgent alarm blared throughout the city. Mia's heart raced as she gathered her crew. What's happening? She demanded. The test of trust. The days turned into weeks as the humans and Centauri worked side by side, slowly building a bond forged in the fires of adversity. The city, once in ruins, began to rise anew, a testament to their cooperation. Mia and her crew continued to impress the Centauri with their ingenuity and hard work. However, not everyone among the Centauri had warmed up to the humans. Krell, still skeptical of their intentions, watched closely for any sign of weakness. Mia could feel his eyes on her, a constant reminder that their alliance was still fragile. One day, as the crew was busy reinforcing a wall, a loud alarm blared throughout the city. The ground shook, and a cloud of dust filled the air. Mia hurried to the command center, her heart racing. What's happening? She demanded as she entered. Captain, sensors are detecting a massive energy spike approaching from the north. Ensign Ramos reported, her eyes wide with concern. It's an invasion. Centauri forces, ready for combat, shouted Gorak as he rushed in, his expression serious. Prepare the ship for launch. Mia ordered, we need to assess the situation. The crew scrambled, moving with purpose. Mia could feel the tension in the air. This was a true test of their alliance. As they gathered their gear, she looked at the Centauri warriors. We have to work together to defend your city. Are you with us? Gorak nodded, gripping his weapon tightly. We are ready. But if you fail, we will not trust you again. Mia felt the weight of his words. We will not fail. Together, we can overcome any threat. They quickly launched the Eagle into the sky, the ship soaring over the city as they scanned the horizon. In the distance, a massive fleet of alien ships appeared, each one larger and more menacing than the last. The invaders were a fearsome race known as the Zarnoks, known for their ruthless attacks on weaker worlds. Captain, Marco shouted from the sensor station. They are deploying troops to the surface. Prepare for battle. Mia ordered, her voice steady. We will not let them take this city. The Centauri warriors loaded their weapons and took positions alongside the humans. Mia felt a surge of determination. They had fought hard to earn their place here, and she would not let their efforts go to waste. As the Zarnoks forces landed, a wave of chaos erupted in the city. The aliens emerged from their ships, towering and covered in dark, jagged armor. They were strong and brutal, their weapons designed for destruction. Hold your ground, Gorak yelled, rallying the Centauri warriors. We will fight for our home. Mia took a deep breath, ready to lead her crew into the fray. Stay together. We fight as one. The first wave of Zarnoks charged, their weapons firing energy blasts that illuminated the night sky. Mia and her crew returned fire, their blasters lighting up the battlefield. The Centauri warriors fought fiercely, their strength complementing the humans' tactics. But the Zarnoks were relentless. They pushed forward, their numbers overwhelming. Maya felt a knot of fear tighten in her stomach. We need to regroup, she shouted, looking for a way to turn the tide. Captain, the Zarnoks are flanking us, Marco warned. We need to pull back to the defensive walls. Mia nodded, signaling for her crew to retreat. They fell back to the fortified area they had built together, setting up a defensive line. Focus fire on the closest targets, she shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. As they fought to hold their ground, Maya noticed Krell fighting alongside them, his massive form swinging a heavy weapon with precision. Humans, you are holding well, he said, respect creeping into his tone. but do not underestimate the enemy." "We won't," Maya replied, determination fueling her words. "We can win this if we work together." The battle raged on, the sounds of blaster fire and shouts mixing with the roars of the Zarnox. Just when it seemed like they were gaining the upper hand, a massive Zarnox commander appeared, towering over the battlefield. His armor gleamed menacingly, and he wielded a weapon that crackled with energy. "Push forward," the commander bellowed, sending a shockwave of fear through the ranks. The Zarnox surged, reinvigorated by their leader's presence. Maya felt her heart race. "We need to take out that commander," she shouted. "He's rallying their forces." Gorak nodded, determination flashing in his eyes. "I will draw his fire. You take the shot." Mia hesitated, knowing the risk Gorak was about to take. "No, it's too dangerous." But he stepped forward, a fierce determination etched on his face. "Trust me, Captain. We must end this." Mia ducked under a swing from a creature, rolling to the side, and firing her weapon. One of the Centauri warriors noticed and grunted in surprise. "Not bad for a human," he admitted, begrudging respect creeping into his tone. Hours passed as they battled the horde. Slowly, the creatures began to retreat. The Centauri humans pushed forward, determined to protect their new allies. Finally, as the last of the creatures fell, Maya looked around at the aftermath. The Centauri were battered but alive. The humans were exhausted, but they had fought valiantly. "Maybe you are not as weak as we thought," the Centauri warrior said, a hint of admiration in his voice. "But you are still foolish to come here." Mia smiled, feeling a sense of achievement. "We may be different, but we fight for what is right." The Centauri leader, who had been watching from a distance, stepped forward. "You have proven your courage today, humans. But understand, this is only the beginning. The Centauri do not easily trust outsiders." Mia nodded, knowing they had a long way to go. "We understand. But we are here to help and learn. Together, we can be stronger." The Centauri leader studied her for a moment before turning to his warriors. "Prepare the city for rebuilding. We must decide how to deal with these humans." As they began to regroup, Maya felt a flicker of hope. The first encounter had been challenging, but it was also an opportunity. She knew they had much to prove to the Centauri, and she was determined to show them that humanity was not to be underestimated. As they returned to the ship for rest, Mia glanced back at the Centauri. She had made the first step toward forging a bond between their two races, and in the heart of danger, she believed they could build a strong alliance that would change the fate of the galaxy forever. Underestimating humanity. The Eagle hovered above the battered city, the metallic hum of the ship resonating in the stillness that followed the battle. Inside, the crew was still catching their breath, adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Captain Mia Torres sat at the command center, her heart full of hope, but also heavy with the uncertainty of their situation. "Captain," Ensign Ramos said, breaking the silence. The Centauri seemed to be regrouping. "What's our next move?" Mia glanced at the view screen displaying the city below, now filled with the sounds of repair and recovery. "We need to show them that we are serious about helping. Let's offer our support in rebuilding." The Centauri had been skeptical, but they had seen the humans fight. Now it was time to prove their worth beyond battle. Mia stood, determination etched on her face. "Let's make our presence known. Gather the crew." As they exited the ship, Mia noticed the Centauri warriors assessing their every move, their bright yellow eyes watching intently. The warrior who had initially dismissed them, Gorak, approached with a mixture of skepticism and curiosity. "You return. Why?" Mia stepped forward, her voice steady. "We want to help your people recover. We have skills that can assist in rebuilding your city." Gorak crossed his arms, his muscles flexing beneath his dark green skin. "You believe humans can help us. You are small and weak." Mia met his gaze, refusing to back down. "We may be smaller, but we have tools, knowledge, and a willingness to work hard. We can learn from each other. The other Centauri warriors exchanged glances, uncertainty evident on their faces. Gorak remained silent, assessing the humans. Very well. Show us what you can do. Mia turned to her crew, excitement bubbling inside her. Let's get to work. They set out to gather supplies and tools, ready to help in any way they could. The next few hours were filled with a flurry of activity. Mia and her crew worked alongside the Centauri, clearing debris and helping to reinforce structures. The humans used their advanced technology to repair damaged buildings, while the Centauri showed them how to build sturdy walls and create defenses. At first, the Centauri warriors were aloof, their pride making them hesitant to accept help. But as they worked side by side, they began to notice the humans' determination and ingenuity. Mia's crew used their tools to create an efficient assembly line, something that Centauri had never seen before. "Look!" shouted Marco, pointing to a makeshift shelter they had constructed. "We can use these materials to create more housing for the displaced." Gorak watched, his expression slowly changing. "You have skill, human. Perhaps you are not as foolish as we thought." As the sun began to set, Maya felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her. They had made progress, but the true test of trust still lay ahead. Would the Centauri accept them as allies?